Hello! Welcome to February 2026. What? Where's the time going? Anyway, thank you for joining in. Um, there's quite a bit happening with literary events happening. There's the end of this month. There's the literary festival in Maryport. Kelly also sent some information about the North Cumbria Stanza group having an online poetry session with a couple of Bristol-based poets on Monday. That's the 23rd of February. So if you want to get in touch with her, she can let you know more about that. And there's Words by the Water is back at Keswick in March. There's all sorts going on. And SpeakEasy is back at the Source on Wednesday next week as well. So there's loads of things and no excuses not to be doing stuff. And I know there are pamphlets and launches and various bits and pieces, and I have a sneaking suspicion we'll hear about those coming up. I'm getting like Tom Spate on those CACN zooms. Anyway, I'll kick off and then we'll see where we go from there. But yeah, this is a poem called Board of Peace. I mean, it's been a crazy month. Goes like this. Who could be bored of peace? An emperor or general wanting to write their name in the history books. Peace is much better than the alternative. I don't want to die, and your men don't want to die, and these people certainly don't want to die. It's a shame you're in such a hurry to. If you want to experience conflict, go visit the trenches in Ukraine. Cities facing constant bombardment, rockets rain down like in Gaza, or dodge bullets fired in Minneapolis. Divide and conquer is the true objective. Sow division, hate and chaos, because unity is the enemy of the tyrant. Fear is their weapon to control. In times of peace, the people prosper. Contentment breeds complacency. Appeasement is no defense. Allies and agreements should be respected. Mutually assured destruction is an extreme measure, one I wish we could do without. When the doomsday clock sits perilously close to midnight, World War III is not worth starting. It would be a war not worth winning. We can apply ourselves to countless other tasks of far greater value and worth. I'm all in favour of giving peace a chance, because only a fool would be bored of peace. There you are. Oh, thanks very much. Right then. Val, you're next. What have you got for us?
I'm going to read this one I read at Poets Out Loud last time. It's called A Letter to Keir Starmer, and I wrote it after Donald Trump kidnapped the president of Venezuela. So it goes, Dear Mr. Starmer, I think it would be calmer if you kidnapped Donald Trump, that American orange chump, for infiltrating the UK in every possible way, from their petrol-guzzling cars to their king-size chocolate bars, McDonald's and KFC, rubbish films and crap TV. But what I find even worse, their spell checkers a curse, and like other language nerds, hate the way it spells our words. How many times have I read realise spelt with a Z? And colour without a U? It simply will not do. I blame the good old US for this illiterate mess, so please take him away. Britain can rule the USA, 'cause he's really not our pal. Yours sincerely, Val.
Very good.
Not too offensive.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't hold back, though. That's good. Yeah. Thank you very much, Val. Yeah, we'll try and get that to the appropriate authorities. Yeah. Okay, George, we're with you.
Right, yeah. I don't know if you saw. I just heard something today, but I never been able to check that it's right. But that Kearney Carney, I should say, you know, the Prime Minister of Canada, negotiations with the trade negotiation with Trump lasted 8 minutes. And Trump just put a piece of paper in front of him, and Carney just looked at it and said, "Didn't come here to be bullied. I'm leaving," and walked out. And all his delegate walked out with him, and Trump supposedly said to someone after he'd gone, "What happened there?" So I hope it's true. Anyway, we'll see. Maybe this leads me neatly into the next poem, which kind of follows on a wee bit from both of you from the beginning. How did we come to this? We, the white, the middle class, we, the comfortable, the secure, we, the supporters of peace, we, the funders of democracy, holders of Christian values, placers of surplus change in collection boxes, our names on the sides of lifeboats, funders of clear, clean water, saviours of donkeys, keepers of the national trust. We are standing protest at those we believed walked the same road towards the same glorious destination. We are bleeding angry, drowning, waving placards for truth, for those not like us whom we embrace. We feel nails in every news bulletin, arms spread wide, our bloodied hands. We are shouting, no.
Well said, George. Wow. George, did I hear that you have a new collection coming out in within minutes?
Strangely, yes, you did, Phil. That there is a launch, a Zoom launch from Cinnamon Press on the 10th of March. But there'll be two good poets and me. And this is the book,
Oh, fantastic.
which was joint winner of this year's Cinnamon Poetry competition, which is If You Want to Know Her. So that's good. I'm very pleased about that. But if anyone can join us, that's great. But usually these Zoom meetings, because of the way they're set up, I can't remember, it's a particular kind of thing. I can't actually see anybody that's there. Unlike this, where you see gallery views. But you've got to register because they need to take control. And I have heard of one or two things recently again, where idiots have been trying to gate crash and send pornography and deal knows all what. So.
Oh well, congratulations on the success of your collection there. By the way, George, I like how casual you were about that. I just won the award.
Well done. Will you send the details of your meeting on to Phil so he can pass them on to us?
I think I've put a thing on SpeakEasy. I think I've
It's on Facebook.
There could be. I haven't looked on there.
Right. I think it's in Facebook. I think I've posted it in Facebook.
It's already there. Oh, it probably is. Yeah. I don't do Facebook, so
I'm very bad in these things, by the way.
I can look at the public pages, but I don't do it as a matter of course. So
I can't remember if it's a public page or not, but I'm very bad at these kind of things. I really am.
I will send you. I'll send you the info, Rose. It's okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, George. Okay, Hazel. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, well done, George. That's definite. And please send me details as well, Phil. That would be, yeah. I'm trying to decide now. I'll read you this one that I kind of did bits a while ago. It's called Pilgrimage to Shakespeare's Books. Hurtling on the Eurostar, nous sommes arrivés, writing from cafe to fabled cafe, in company on our first writerly pilgrimage, with the shades of Simone de Beauvoir and her beau Jean-Paul in le deux, excuse the pronunciation, I don't have a French accent at all, but in les deux magots, thin winter sunshine lights the unfamiliar boulevards. We write our way through the romance of this legendary city to Shakespeare's books, paying homage to Sylvia Beach, Though she could have spared the world, Ulysses, before tourist tripping to Notre Dame, the Arc de Triomphe, la Tour Eiffel, la Grande Arche de la Défense. See, I can't. Sorry about the French bits. Anyway, efforts to encapsulate the indefinable effervescence, the artistic ambience, oozing from the city's every mythic pore, an impossible, unreachable dream. That's that one. Thank you.
Wow.
Definitely need to practice the French words. I'm really sorry about that. That was appalling. However, it kind of makes me think when we had our French teacher at school was from Belfast. And it was quite an interesting presentation of French vowels, kind of through the prism of the Northern Irish accent. That was quite interesting. That's no excuse for my terrible attempt. But anyway.
Well, it's nice to know you're not brilliant at everything, just poetry and most everything else. But the French accent, yeah. I remember talking to some friends years ago, and it transpired that they had French lessons in Newcastle. And then they moved on, and I was like, whoa, let's just go back and imagine what that would have been like with a Geordie French teacher going, Bonjour, comment allez-vous? Quelle heure est-il? I mean, that's interesting, isn't it? It's different.
I think you should do it for, audition for Bergerac, Phil.
Yeah. From Newcastle. Yes. Well, the less said about that, the better. Yes, I was nominated for playing Clouseau, but that wasn't really a proper French accent. So, yes,
Sorry, how did that go?
I don't know yet. It's not been announced yet. So the awards are in a couple of weeks, George. So don't worry. If anything interesting happens, you'll be the first to know. But it's just nice to be nominated. It's the longest sort of nomination period in history. Anyway, sorry, got distracted by French accents. That was very good, Hazel. I liked it. Très bien. Okay, Roz, follow that. Choose whichever accent you want to use. I mean, you can. It's up to you.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to follow that, and I can't help it if you're all brilliant. I've been trying to write something the other day on Monday. I was writing a couple of bits, so now I've lost the bit at the side of my screen that moves it up and down. Oh, there it is. And I come across this word, and I don't even know if I'm going to say this right, and it's English. It's orophile. It's spelled O-R-O, file, orophile. Ever heard of that? It means apparently a tree lover. So I thought, oh no, it doesn't mean tree lover. It means a mountain lover. I've forgotten what I'm talking about. It's a mountain lover. And I'd been looking at the hills out the back the other day and thinking about something. So I've had a go at writing it on Monday. But I'm not sure it's finished. But you lot can tell me whether to bother or not. Right. You have to admire the majesty of the mountains. They seek out your praise and draw us to them. They offer us both comfort and terror as they stand proud, aloof, and beautiful. They are symbols of strength. We have many mountain metaphors that imply this grappling with adversity, a mountain to climb, so difficult, so high, so hard to overcome. Yet man believes he has the ability to conquer all obstacles. He must learn the point of climbing a mountain is not to get to the top. There is something about their permanence. Mountains seem constant, reliable and trustworthy, unmoving. Man must go to the mountain. It will not come to him. But those who sit and watch in quiet contemplation will see them shifting and changing with the light, Watch as they come and go in the mist. Understand that they are their own masters. But foolish people will still keep trying to surmount them, simply because they are there. And that's as far as I got with that.
I like that. That's really good. I like it.
You like it? Lots of little sayings about mountains strung together.
Yeah.
You might get it again on Sunday if you're lucky.
Hey!
Or unlucky, yeah.
No, it's great. Yeah, it's curious, all those sayings that revolve around mountains and the sayings and the sort of folklore and what have you. Yeah, that was good. Have you written one about tree lovers as well? Because I was getting into the mindset for the tree lover, and then you switched on us to mountain lover.
Yeah, I didn't know. I think I've got a day next week. I don't know, before Sunday. Maybe not. Maybe not.
Well, no, it's no pressure. I was just curious. Yeah. That's cool. Thank you, Rose. Right, we've had a spin round the room already. That's really good. Cool. Right, I've got a little song here, which when I sang at the folk thing last week, they joined in on the choruses, which I wasn't expecting, and frankly it threw me a little bit. But yeah, it was Valentine's Day the other day, wasn't it? Yeah. It wasn't. It's not a test. People go, was it? Oh, yes, I believe it was. But yeah, I don't know. I can't tell whether this is a pro Valentine's Day or an anti Valentine's Day song. I don't know. So, anyway, you decide. Let's see what happens. And this is it. I know it's true because of how it hurts. I know it's true because of how it hurts. I know it's true because of how it hurts. I know it's true because of how it hurts. I saw her smile. I saw her laugh and sing. I saw her dance and do most everything. But the only time I ever saw her cry was on the day when we said goodbye. I know it's true because of how it hurts. I know it's true because of how it hurts. I know it's true because of how it hurts. I know it's true because of how it hurts. Love's true path never did run smooth. She always left me feeling I'd something more to prove. She wiped my smile away and left me lost for words. I know it's true because of how it hurts. I know it's true because of how it hurts. I know it's true because of how it hurts. I know it's true because of how it hurts. I know it's true because of how it hurts. Like the bees and the birds, she went and flew away. I stayed behind and think of yesterday. When I saw her smile, I saw her laugh and sing. I saw her dance and do most everything. But the only time I ever saw her cry was on the day when we said goodbye. I know it's true because of how it hurts. I know it's true because of how it hurts. I know it's true because of how it hurts. I know it's true because of how it hurts. There you are. There we are. Okay, yeah, I know it's true because of how it hurts. That's the title. People couldn't quite guess what the title was when I sang it last time. There we are. Okie dokie. Beats all those songs about flowers and chocolates. Anyway. Who's next? Val, follow that. Have you got a song for us?
Yeah. It's not about Valentine's Day.
Hey, okay.
No, since the Winter Olympics are on, I thought I'd read this one that I wrote the last time the Winter Olympics was on. It's called The Ski Jumper. Poised ready at the mountain top, off he goes, he cannot stop, hurtling down the glistening snow towards the jump far below. With a whoosh he shoots up high, and like a bird he seems to fly. Body stretched from head to toes, he holds the position as he goes. All at once he starts to drop, and hits the snow with a plop, and with a deft bend of the knees, gently lands upon his skis. It must be excitement that they crave, for I could never be that brave. Thank you.
Very good. And we won some gold medals, haven't we? Done pretty well this Olympics, Winter Olympics.
Yeah, we've won a few. Well, we've won one anyway. I don't know.
I think we're up to 3 gold medals, which is
Are we up to
more than
3
anyone
now?
expected.
Not for ski jumping though.
Yeah, no, but it's something to aspire for, isn't it?
No, I think it's for sitting in a tea tree and coming down a slope.
Well, yeah,
Skeleton, we got one, yeah.
you can get medals for it. Why not? Go for it. What have you got, George? Are you tempted by the Winter Olympics, George?
I haven't been so far. I don't think I've watched a little bit. I've been watching some of the curling, etc., and some things. But I was suddenly realised when Roz was doing about mountains that I wrote something recently about mountains on the 21st of January. I wrote this about mounds. How I hold on high those mountains that did not know they were there, silently accepted the mass assault of zealots with spikes to drive into every surface fault they tried to hide with grit, moss, and accepted invasion of flowers. Mountains who flaunted their bald head, overgrown bushy lower slopes and curves, that way they flash nakedness in the sun as a model striking a pose turns their best side to the camera. How many of them wished they had screamed and raged, envied volcanoes, the eruption of lava, driving visitors into hiding? Did they look out with sad realization that volcanoes in their pomp did not dissuade, merely rerouted the advances of predators seeking thrills, the consummation to conquer the summit, to reach a climax?
That's very good. Does anyone else think he's peaked? He's peaked. Hey, 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 hey. That was good. That was good. I sense a collection about mountains forming here, to be honest. It sounds good. That was good. Cool. Hazel. Hello.
Oh, there we go. Got to remember and unmute myself. What am I going to read now? I'm not sure this is entirely finished, but we'll see how it goes. It kind of came in response to, we did a burn supper event at our village hall, which was, it went really, really well. It was a burn supper and a ceilidh, but I was quite struck by how much tartan and it was the most Scottish ceilidh I'd actually been to outside of Scotland, which kind of threw me a bit. But anyway, so I called this the Skirl and Burl. Oh, the skirl and burl of Aitsome reels, heavy tweed jackets shed for the dashing white sergeant or the gay Gordons, heavy tartan pleats swirling below tasselled sporrans, frocks and silken sashes, flashing silver brooch pins, ski and doos slid down thick wool socks, winking smoky quartz cairngorms in sparkling Celtic knotwork. Wild whiskey-fueled whooping, ramping up the frenzied whirling. Always some poor soul goes flying across the dance floor, though seldom meeting real harm, only shredded dignity, amid the Cayley's complex gaiety. That's it.
Oh wow, it was like we were there. There was a lot of tartan on display. Yeah. So were you doing the Scottish dancing and partaking?
Well, in the end, I don't think I did a great deal of dancing. Mark had put his back out, so that's probably not a good thing to be doing too much on that. But I think it was just I mean, I do like a ceilidh, but as I say, because we did we had an amazing, I would call it a performance of the address to the haggis. One of the village guys did a very animated address to the haggis that he'd learned the whole lot, which I'm always staggered. It's like actors, isn't it, when they learn a script? It was absolutely amazing. So I think I was kind of just in awe of all that. But it was good fun. It was good fun.
Fantastic. Sounds great. Cool. All right. Roz, we're back with you.
Back to me. Right. I've got another one that I wrote on Monday, which I had the first few lines I already had anyway. And it's one of those things. I've tried to keep it light, but it's not as jolly as yours, Hazel. So in fact, it's far from it, but there you go. It's the way I get through things. Anyway, you were born broken-hearted. That's the way your life started. Single ventricle and transposition, we were told by your physician. To a cardiologist we went to try and figure out what that meant. We became overloaded with data, as many ECGs and catheters later. After all those echocardiograms, they decided you needed a Fontans. The next few years were rather fraught, and to cut a very long story short, they finally did it, and you didn't die. So 2 years later, they had another try. Fortunately, going under the surgeon's knife has added 30 years to your life. Although we are aware that Fontans fail, and as you reach the end of your sorry tale, I expect you to finish just like you started and be at the last broken-hearted. And that was that.
Wow, Roz, that was very powerful. Very powerful. It's amazing what medicine can do, isn't it?
You need to bring out a recording of various things that you've done, Phil. This is a joy. I can see Hazel nodding her head there.
How do you mean, George?
Oh, songs and voices and Clouseau, and I really like the idea of the Newcastle French teacher.
Yes. I think a highlights of SpeakEasy. That would be quite good.
Yeah.
Or just the many silly voices of me.
Well, we could do a complete recording of Kung Fu Panda.
Kung Fu Penguin.
Penguin. Sorry, Penguin.
Shut up! We don't want the lawyers getting involved, George.
At least, that's right. At least it's black and white.
That's great. I mean, speaking of Kung Fu Penguin, this is a good time to go and get a cup of tea, everybody. Oh dear. Yeah. Well, you're quite right, George. Some of this could be like some kind of showreel material for many of us. Yes, it's my desperate attempt to be a voiceover artist. Yeah. Okie dokie. Do you want another sort of dip into the madness of Kung Fu Penguin? George gave it double thumbs up there, so I'm afraid that overrules everybody else.
That's fair.
That's the rules. Those are the rules. Okay. Well, here we are. This is episode 4 of series 4 of Kung Fu Penguin, where he's having to go before the government panel, the US government panel, to do with the events of what happened in series 3. Okay, gotta take a deep breath. Okay. Kung Fu Penguin and friends continue to take part in a series of hearings before the Governmental Oversight Department Committee concerning the extraordinary revelations and unusual events live-streamed to the world via the Dr. Bobcat Investigates podcast. Settling in the committee hearing room, an aide approached. Congressman Timber Sheet spoke with clarity. Well, my staffer Clarity informs me that General Malaise is... That was for you, George. That was for you. My staffer Clarity informs me that General Malaise is unwell and unable to join us today. So, along with the private detective, the podcaster, and the billionaire space entrepreneur, we have Agent Gray. Would you mind telling us who you work for? The Bureau of Special Investigation, Revenue and Accountancy Division. Initially we were investigating Miss Fortune, but she's since disappeared in questionable circumstances. Hey! That was one of the most viewed episodes on my podcast, interjected Professor Brush. That thing in the sky has set the whole internet alive with theories. Yeah, we've all seen the video. We tried to contact Alaska May Fortune and get her here to testify, but we've had no reply and view her as a hostile witness. Then we met General Malaise, and boy, did that open a can of worms. My colleagues and I have been investigating a series of financial irregularities, vastly inflated government budgets that seem to have been siphoned off into so-called black projects. We know nothing about them, and that are answerable to nobody. Kung Fu Penguin grinned. Well, Chairman, you said you wanted somebody to hold them to account. Who knew it would be the accountants? The high-flying representative, Bianca Ortega Azteca Cortez, nodded. That's quite true, Mr. Penguin. What led you to believe this, Agent Gray? Well, thanks to the General's insight, we've tracked the disappearance of government funds into top-secret projects and found evidence of collusion with private aerospace corporations and contractors. The sub was not the only program that raised alarm bells. However, following the trial becomes much more difficult as the Freedom of Information requests that government departments have to answer to don't apply to private businesses. It's not in their interest to divulge what they may or may not have access to, due to the intense rivalry with their competitors. If they're private entities, they're probably rather protective of their privacy. I might be able to help out with my everyday life as a private investigator. If I may interject, Mr. Piccolo discovered a craft that was confiscated by the military. Oh, Miss Brush, I do wish you hadn't said that. But that's right. Our research teams have applied to work with aerospace projects, but for some reason the Piccolo Institute for Science of the Strange has been frozen out. I went and financed my own research after not being awarded any contracts. These projects are hotly contested, and we understood that they would be awarded to companies in a fair and legitimate fashion. However, if there is evidence that one business has been given unfair preferential treatment over another, then that means a litigation case is sure to follow. One that is likely to be at considerable expense to the taxpayer if government involvement is proved. It'll be a field day for lawyers. I can sense the sharks already circling. What sort of unfair advantage are we talking about here? What voice was I using? Does anyone remember? For example, the government used the military to recover some craft of unknown origin. Oh, this is the good bit, George. Pay attention. This was passed over to a company to try and disassemble and learn how it was constructed. Reverse engineered, if you will. If this material was understood, it would give an unfair advantage to that company over their competitors. Hypothetically, yes. And there would be, they would need to, I can cut this, I can fix all this in post. We can fix this. So much for the highlights reel. Hypothetically, yes. And there would need to be a way to pay for this research. Through the overinflated departmental budgets. Potentially, yes. It's become a bit of a specialist subject for me. You might say it's a bit of a grey area. And then we segue into the musical number because it's probably going to have to be a concept album now because I've been blacklisted from the West End. But never mind. It's kind of blurry. What's wrong and what is right. Working on these projects without oversight. It's a top-secret program run by crooks. You've got to wonder, why is it not on the books? Don't believe nobody knows. I've got a tip for you, honey. Follow the money and see where it goes. These black projects operate with impunity. Before turning whistleblower, folk want immunity. People don't want to break their NDA. Not keen to go to jail or get blown away. So surely somebody knows. If something stinks, you've got to thinks and rely on your nose. When people are lying, you can just tell. BS has its very own distinctive smell. When the numbers no longer add up, will you keep drinking from the poisoned cup? Find where the evidence flows. I got a tip for you, sonny. Follow the money and see where it goes. That's quite an interesting statement, sir. The chair looked over his spectacles incredulously. And if we hadn't become aware of some similar numbers that disappear into the Pentagon's budget, I'm not sure that I think that was anything more than crazy conspiracy talk. However, the Pentagon's never passed an audit. You gotta ask yourself why. Bianca Ortega Azteca Cortez frowned. And there's a suggestion that this criminal collective are behind this? You can bet they almost certainly played a part, the detective grumbled. They are representatives in every level of society. We intend to expose the truth. And thanks to your testimony and what we all saw on the live stream at the Piccolo Labs, I think it's becoming self-evident that something is going on. What more do you know about these projects? There's a lot of people who don't want us to know. Even the Pentagon's own investigation program goes out of their way to dissuade you of any evidence to support these claims. That's true, dagnammit. When we have the head of the All-Domain Anomalous Notification Organization, no, coming to speak to us next time. We can't wait to hear what Dr. Sean Kurtz Flapjack has to say for himself. No, not Dr. Flapjack. He's always taking the mick. He's the guy who explains everything away as balloons or seagulls. He's like podcast kryptonite. We know what we saw, and it wasn't a blimp that whisked Alaska May Fortune away. Great. Can't wait to meet him. Sounds like a yawn a minute. Will Dr. Flapjack's arguments sway the committee? Will the criminal collective be brought down after their intimidation tactics? Have they gotten to general malaise? Will the global impact of the Dr. Bobcat Investigates podcast influence the outcome? Can justice still prevail? What revelations will we hear next time? Find out in the continuing adventures of Kung Fu Penguin. And if you can understand that, postcards sent to me, please. All right. Which voice are you going to use, Val? Because you're next.
I'm sorry, I'm not good at voices.
Okay, you stick with the one you have. It's good. It works for you.
Yeah, I won't be getting nominated for any awards.
Oh, well, I don't know. I've seen your dance moves. They're pretty nifty.
I'm going to read this one, which I should have read last month, really, because it's called New Year at the Gym. And it's just about that time of year when you go in the gym and it's absolutely chock-a-block with people. And then by this time of year, they've all gone again, you know. So New Year at the Gym. It's January, and the normally empty gym is full to the brim with overweight people trying to get slim and make their wobbly bits all toned and trim. Middle-aged ladies shifting Christmas excess, all doing their best, but only succeeding in being in a hot, sweaty mess, while they dream of being able to wear that little black dress. Middle-aged men thinking they look great, heaving on weight, pumping that iron, getting in a hot, sweaty state, while they dream of being able to finally get a date. They'll be gone soon. It's too much of a chore. I've seen it before, and after a month it soon becomes a bore. But I can guarantee next year they'll all be back once more. Thank you.
Yeah, it's true, that, isn't it? There's always an uptake of gym memberships.
Oh, yeah.
Does it last about 3 weeks?
They all come for about a month and then they all disappear again.
Best of intentions. Oh, goodness. So you're always on like the bench press, are you, Val? You're working out down the gym?
Not a lot. I'm not really that great on the gym, to be honest. I find it a little bit boring. So go now and then.
Oh, well, cool. As long as you enjoy it, that's good. Okay, George. Another heavyweight, poetry heavyweight. There we go.
Well, yeah, sorry, I don't go to the gym. That's probably why I'm a heavyweight. But I'm trimming some weight off, I have to say, at the moment. But anyway, Hazel put me in mind of a burn supper. So I don't think I've done this before, but I have. I'm not going to apologise. I'm just going to do it again. This is the Haggis's Revenge. The haggis came raging round the room, eyes ablaze as his piper played. All the guests who'd risen to the tune, scattered as they were dismayed, to see a living haggis where bulging guts, say sonsy fair, should be steaming, but not from whisky. And certainly not one as frisky as this apparition from the oven. Those eyes with terror, them bewitching. What the hell happened in the kitchen? Were they the victims of a coven? The chef was grinning ear to ear, expecting to be greeted with a cheer, but panicked voices shouted, "Whoa! It's still alive! Did you not know how deadly is a haggis riled? Oh, idiot! Is your heat biled? He'll mash us up like champit neeps." Diners now begin to weep as terror round the table creeps. The haggis leaps from the platter, drunken heads are thrown to splatter. The table, cover, walls and ceiling. The whole place this night is reeling. The haggis downs the piper's twat, lies back contented with his lot. A few survivors tell the story, which burns in mortal memory.
Very good. That sounds like quite a lively evening, George. Is that I want that to be true.
It isn't actually totally true, but I did once go to a Hammermen's guild burn supper, and it was definitely a place where men get hammered, because I watched when I think it was actually, I think the soup had gone, but I think it was the next course. There was a guy at the end of the table who suddenly slumped and head was thrown into the plate of mashed potato and everything. At which point his mate grabbed him by the hair and pulled his head upright. The guy at the other side of him shoved a whiskey glass in his hand and said, "Get that down you, that'll do you good." So that was just at the start of the meal. So there's still to hear all the speeches and everything, and they were already. Mind you, having heard the speeches, I wished I was drunk.
If it was instant mash, they would be smashed, wouldn't they? There we go.
There's naturally seen all these ancient men in pucka suits, in dinner suits and everything, the bow ties and all that, getting absolutely paralytic. I think it was one of these things where there were no women allowed, but I've got a feeling that no woman who was sane would have come into the room.
Probably at a much more civilized event down the road or something. Yeah. You have adventures, George. I like hearing about them.
It just amazed me. There was all these very posh people, all the cream of Glasgow society, as drunk as could get.
Well,
Anyway.
they're the worst offenders, aren't they?
It was probably all policemen, actually.
Well, I'm going to choose my next comments very, very carefully.
Yes, I suddenly thought I should be. If you suddenly see blue flashing lights, you'll know what's happened.
Good luck with the launch there. And you've got extra bars on the Zoom screen, yeah. Cool. Thank you, George. Okay, Hazel, follow that, if you dare.
Oh, goodness. Yes, I'm not sure I've got anything that's gonna. I'd love to do that as an alternative address to the haggis. I think that would really work, George, I think. So this one, that's not well. It's part of a series that I'm kind of working up. Well, this was the very first one that I read. This one's called Postcard from Stranraer. A breakfast at Ballantrae, intrigued to find it's real, not fictional. Before heading towards Girvan, recalling a faded seaside snap of us. A heron flies across the sunlit view to Ailsa Craig, trailing other echoes from our shared past. The same rock viewed from Arran on our last adventure, a trip ostensibly to see the rhododendron blooms, back then a poem about the buns on Macri Beach. You're urging me to snap the wingback chair lounging incongruously in the bus shelter. Later, insisting we nip out for a last transgressive smoke, where we're blessed with an unparalleled sunset, a fitting final road trip. And I had a wee footnote to that my mum's favourite Stevenson novel was The Master of Ballantrae, and I didn't realise it was a real place until I drove, past the sign and thought, it's anyway. That's a wee footnote, but yeah, and possibly a little bit self-indulgent in some ways, but yeah.
That was lovely.
Thank you.
Wow. Hi, that was great. Okay, Roz, do you have another?
Oops. There you go. I don't think I've got anything about Scotland. I went to Edinburgh last weekend for a few days, just for the sheer hell of it. It was lovely. I like Edinburgh. Anyway, the only thing I've got, I know that I haven't read on here, is the Pylons one I did at Last Poets, which isn't very exciting. It's again just we went for a walk and I just suddenly noticed all these pylons in the field down the road. So I thought I'd write something about them. Today the air is clear and the winter sun is bright. I saw them when a glint of light bounced off the metal. Usually I'd barely notice these tall, crisscross metal structures with arms outstretched to hold garlands of wire strung out across the sky high above the grass, as they hang in the wind or wind between them, uniting these structures as they march across the field. Unsightly, unnatural invaders of the countryside, but also elegant angels of the north who bring power into our homes. I cannot say that they are beautiful, but they are very welcome. And that was that. Because sometimes you just see things one day, don't you? For some reason.
Yeah. You turned it into a thing of beauty there, as you found something, quite beautiful in the way you described the industrial encroachment on the landscape. Yeah. Clever.
You have to love them because they're everywhere, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
But they do mean we get a lot of power cuts. They keep blowing over.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That is unfortunate, but I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
We're very lucky to have it. It's such a first world problem, isn't it? No, that's great. All right. Are we up for one last quick spin round the room? And then we can disperse to spread verse and poetry. Or just go to sleep. Poetry hibernation. Well, that links to this one, which I wrote last night as I was trying to get to sleep. And I started thinking about dreams and then thoughts and how your mind works and things. So make of this what you will. It's called Such Stuff as Dreams Are Made Of. Do ideas wait to be thought of? Do dreams sit ready to be dreamed? Are thoughts ours uniquely, or preconceived, awaiting grey matter to be brought to life? Is this my idea, or somebody else's? Or do all ideas exist, like books upon the library shelf, hoping to be found, opened, and shared with the world? Are dreams my own, or shared with others? Discoveries await in the twilight recesses of the mind. Does that incompletely understood biological number-crunching data center in our heads conceive, deduce, and interpret neurological impulses to create projections of understanding? Or do thoughts exist first, and the brain merely tunes in to a thought databank, finding a frequency of understanding, rationalizing the irrational rationale? And in that case, what about dreams? Food for thought, perhaps. In any case, it certainly makes you think. There you go. That's why I was struggling to get to sleep at midnight. There you are. Val, have you another for us?
Yeah, I'm like, the timing of this is not good because this is before Poets Out Loud. Because when we've read them on Poets Out Loud, if they go down well there, we can read them on the online Zoom. But now, if I read it now and it sinks like a stone, I won't want to read it on Sunday. But you're going to get it, so you'll have to, because it was Valentine's Day, we went to the cinema to see the new Wuthering Heights film. And so this is called A Trip to the Cinema. We went to see Wuthering Heights. It was full of sexual tension. You might have thought it all too much for ladies collecting their pension. But all of us old ladies there were reminiscing about our youth, because we've all felt passion and desire, and that's just the honest truth. Our grandchildren might find all this a slightly disturbing notion, that their sensible elderly grandmas once felt such deep emotion. But we oohed at Heathcliff's muscles and ahed when Cathy died. We were so emotionally invested that at the end we cried. There you go. Get it again on Sunday.
Oh, very good. That sounds like a 5-star review.
Yeah, well, I enjoyed it. There wasn't, I mean, don't expect it to be like the book. It deviated quite a lot from the book, but I enjoyed the film, the way it was done.
Oh, good.
It was kind of, I mean, it's directed by a woman, and you could sort of tell it had that sort of woman's kind of edge to it. It focused very much on the relationship between Cathy and Heathcliff. But yeah, it was quite moving. The music was good as well, you know, always adds to it, the atmosphere.
Oh, well, jolly good. Yeah. Good stuff. Okay, thank you, Val. George.
Well, I have slept in Lockwood's bed with the window that Cathy came to. So at Pondon Hall, I slept in the box bed, which is, it's not the original, but it's where the original box bed was that Cathy, that the Bronte sisters used to go to visit the house there, and Bramwell used to go to the guy's house at Pondon Hall, and it's got the barn alongside it where they escaped the I can't remember what you call it, the bomb from the moor. You know, when the moor burst and it was flooded, they managed to seek safety inside the barn at Pondon Hall. So I've slept in Lockwood's bed. So there, well, that's my claim to fame. I stayed awake half the night hoping that Cathy was going to come and rattle the window, but she never arrived. Anyway, so this was written last night as well, Phil. I was at a little online thing. So this is baptism. So, siren call of rivulet, born in summer rain. Sue Esther in long plastic macs, shedding water, running into boots, water cleansing. I need to find the raging river to hear its song, choirs dancing from rock to bank to fall, and falling to throw rainbows to laugh and chatter. There is a rushing to the sea to hear Beethoven crashing on the coastal path, the shingle timpani, its surging beat, the joy in every drum. Out in cliff-darkened shadows a cave crying, walls holding every pulsating heart and voice, every lung grasp more air dives beneath the surface. Tonight you are alive, heart strong, head joyous. This water is alive, this storm, this tingle is now, and you are carried in the flood. You lift fingers to your lips and kiss each droplet, wonder at the endless gift of rivers, the drowning, submerge, self in that great onward surrender.
Wow, that was really good. Really good. Was this another writing workshop you say you were doing?
Yeah, it was Cinnamon Press have a thing where they're doing, I think it's each month we gather and we do an hour of writing by Camely by Candlelight it's called. So they're just they read a couple of books. I think it was a poem by Auden that was read last night. I can't honestly remember, that's terrible. But it was about water and rivers, etc. But you can either take up something from that or your own ideas. So this was my idea about rain. I was actually thinking in particular about Arran in summer, where we went on holiday and it rained constantly for a fortnight, just about. Well, it seemed to, and we were forever as a family talking up in plastic macs and Sue Esters and and yeah, Wellington boots, which always seemed to be that you channeled the water off your coat into the Wellington boot.
Classic. That's brilliant. That was great, George. Thank you for sharing. Okay, Hazel, do you have another for us?
I can. I agree with George. I think my memories of Scottish summers are of the smell of damp. Damp earth, damp foliage, damp people, damp dogs. It's just like anyway. I think I think I may well have read this before at Speakeasy, although hopefully it was a while ago. But I'm kind of the Scottish CND had a Burns poetry event that I think is it Finola, I can't remember her surname now, George, but she was a featured poet at this. And because it was the Scottish CND, Mark said, you should nominate your Just Women poem. So I did, and they let me on to read it. Which so anyway, if I haven't read it here before, if I have, I apologise. But as George set the precedent, I'm going to read it again. Anyway, so it's called Just Women. Just women, ordinary women, bloody women, hippies, hags, witches, mad. They were demonized as they weaponized traditional notions of womanhood. Radical resistance to decisions made in the war-making world of manufacturing nuclear warheads. In 1981, they marched from Newport to Hungerford and on to Greenham Common. The march garnered meagre attention, so they stayed to blockade the gates for nigh on 2 decades. Unapologetically outspoken, their actions awed, inspired, politicised and radicalised generations of women. They endured privation to make power listen, resisted harassment, continuous attempts at containment, evictions, intimidation, faced off mounted policemen with the simple softness of passivity or of their yarn-crafted webs. They danced on missile silos, occupied military space to protest the arms race. 30,000 women held hands to embrace the base, with 70,000 forming a 14-mile womankind chain. In 1991, the last missiles left the base. Those Greenham women, they were something else.
Wow. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Finola Scott.
Yes, Finola Scott. Yeah, that's right.
Yes, thank you.
Wow. Yeah, that's a great poem, that, Hazel. That's cool. All right, we've got time for Roz, and then we shall wrap things up. So what have you got, Roz?
Nothing to do with anything anybody's read. It's just the first page I come to. And I've read this on here before, but I think it was in locked. Oh, actually, it's got 2020, so you'll have forgotten by now. And it's called Reactions. And it's just something that happens to me all the time. I've developed an allergy that itches horrendously. I've now found its source, and it's embarrassing, of course. Turns out it's drastic to be allergic to elastic. When the rash becomes bad, my bra starts driving me mad. Knickers get uncomfortable too. What on earth am I to do? Wander around in the nude? Run the risk of looking lewd? Without a chance of keeping sex, because I'm irritated by latex. Anyway, you follow my gist. I'll have to say I'm a feminist and adopt their policies as far as protesting by burning my bra, so that not wearing underwear becomes a principled affair. That ties in nicely with you, Hazel.
Well done,
Sorry.
Thank you, Roz. I like to think that we all learn something from each of these pieces, yes, that's like a public service announcement, isn't it? Well done, everybody. Thank you for joining. It's been a really good evening. Give yourselves a round of applause for everyone who read. That's great. Thank you for listening. And yeah, good to see you all. Watch out for those events that are coming up, whether they're in person or online. Festivals, book launches, all sorts of shenanigans. And yeah, keep up the good work, and we'll no doubt do this again next month. So yeah, have fun, take care, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, yeah.
Cheers, guys.
Goodbye.
Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Ta-da!
See you
Thank
soon.
you.
Bye.